So I'm gonna continue with the restoration of my 93 Toyota Celica, and I wanted to work a little bit on the interior this time, and among some other things. So I had this fabric laying around, so I thought I could use it to cover that little area where there's like a slot for coins, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I would prefer to have that kind of fabric placed in there to put keys or the phone or whatever it is that I need to put in there. So I decided to cut it and see if it would fit, and it would look nice too. And the result, as you can see, is really very, very nice. I had to use the Sharpie to cover that a little bit, but the result is pretty satisfactory for me. It looks like it is supposed to be there, and it covered that ugly area in that you know part of the car. Now I had to remove the cover of the stick shift boot, so that I thought it would actually, I wouldn't have to glue it or anything like that. I would use that plastic piece in order to secure it down. And after I was done, I've been driving the car a little bit here and there to keep it running. I really don't have it registered yet or anything like that. I'm still working on it, but it is holding pretty good, and it still looks great. And as I said, it looks like it's supposed to be there. You can see I had to remove that plastic piece and clean the area a little bit, and after that I I just put it, even without using any glue or anything like that. It's just they're attached or secured with that just with that plastic piece that you can see there. And the next thing was kind of like a bigger project. That was to remove the panel, the and the dashboard with the um, tachometer is, and there's a lot of stuff that you need to do. One of the things you need to do is to remove that cable that I think it opens the core, and then you have to remove another wire that goes down. It is the cold hot control that you can see in there. It is attached to, or it has attached to wires, and open certain compartments and levers, one in the engine bay area, and another one inside under the dashboard. So they are both for the cold and the hot air to work. So they had to be released so that the part that you're gonna see me pulling is I'm capable of doing that. So that is the part that I had to pull. Those were the two wires, and of course the connections, the electronic connections attached to all the dashboard controls. And as you heard, that was the speedometer being disconnected, and I was able to, after a lot of work, I was able to remove that piece where the tachometer is, which is not working at this point, and that's one of the things I wanted to fix. So I've seen people changing some condensers or something like that. I thought it was easier to get it in the junkyard and replace it and see if it works, because it's only like $10. So I dismantled this piece, and I wanted to replace um, some of the lights, some of the light bulbs, and maybe, I was thinking about replacing them with LED lights, but I'm not really a big fan of LED lights, especially, the ones that people are using right now. In the mornings when I go to work, it's really hard for me to not be having problems with these lights right in my face. So I'm they look good, but they I don't think they're good for your eyesight, to be honest with you. So I replaced the tachometer. Of course, I was not sure if it was gonna work. Because the donor car was an older car like mine. It was a '93. So chances are, since this is a common problem, it seems that it was not gonna work, but it was worth it, trying. And look what happened. It worked perfectly. I've seen some people replacing them, and they have some problems. They don't work completely. Like, they don't. The revs don't go up. They don't reflect what's going on with the engine. But this one, obviously, it works perfect. So I went ahead and put everything back. This is a lot of work. This is it takes a long time. You have to be so careful with all of those plastics. They are old and break if you're not careful. So you have to put the right pressure. You have to, you know, be working on, the way you detach everything, angles, and being really careful not to break anything. And of course, a couple of pieces broke. Nothing major and nothing that I really can't get at the junkyard. Next thing, you can see what it is. I was gonna try to charge the air conditioning because it was not working at all. I saw a way to connect the compressor, since when the freon is low or there's none of it in the system, it seems that the compressor is not gonna kick on. So I tried to follow an advice that I saw, where you bypass the relay. I tried different relays, and that was not a problem apparently. So I disconnected the low um, cover, the one that has an L in the system, in the A system, and then I um, I tried to do the bypass so that the clutch of the compressor, of the AC compressor, could be connected regardless of the level of freon that was in the system, so that I could try to charge it and see if it would solve the problem. So that's the relay that controls the compressor. Of course, I checked it in the repair manual, and you had to find out where to connect the paper clip. It can be a wire too, but as soon as I connected it and turned the car on and the AC on, it was working. So that was the time to try to recharge the system. And I tried with this one of these things. I think I paid like $17 for that, but it didn't work. And the good thing about it is that I can see exactly where the leak is, and it is where the lines, the hard lines, connect to the compressor. You can see all that greenish stuff. I don't think the recharging bottle that I bought had any dye in it so that you could find it, but I can see it for some reason. Maybe someone already tried to fix it, or I don't know what the deal is, but I can see clearly that greenish stuff was not there. Another thing that I wanted to replace was the oil cap, the one that was there in the car, the carburetor was not looking good at all, even though it was the original one. But I really don't like the look it has. So, I got one at the junkyard. I painted it, and it's gonna look much better right now. It's one of the focal points of an engine, I believe. So I wanted to replace it, and it looks much better now. Next, I wanted to paint the emblems, and I was not too confident about this, but I wanted to do it since I found some again at the junkyard, and they're pretty cheap, so I got them, and I tried to repaint them, and I'm not sure, still not sure after I finished, that they are gonna look better than the OEM one, the original ones in the car. But that's one of the things. That's one of the decisions I've had to do, to take, and I have to make up my mind down the road whenever I decide, if I do, to paint the whole car. So that's one of the things that is going to have to be replaced. But I have a couple of them, and I'm gonna compare and see which one looks better. But again, even though it doesn't look bad, I'm not too convinced that this is the way to go. But we'll see down the road. Okay, thanks for watching this part. We are going to work on the antenna and a couple of other things in the next video. Thanks.